Heyo everybody, Haku here with my read-through for the second part of Mahou Shoujo Ikusei Keikaku, or Magical Girl Raising Project, Chapter 2, Limited Chapter 2. So, yeah, starting off for the beginning of this one, we focused only on nanako-san. She's the only character that we focused from her perspective. It was slow, but at the same time I enjoy it because I feel like this is good character development. I feel like we need those slow moments where we just hang with the characters for a bit. So I think that's important. We probably maybe need it more equally spread out, or maybe they could have done it faster. I don't know. I've enjoyed it, but I will say at least it has been slow, though I've enjoyed it. Some things I like that they're kind of referencing other characters. We've already seen reference to Snow White here, but I also feel like the boss, it makes so much sense that the boss is Fleur because of what she's doing with, she's giving her these items that are somehow better than they're supposed to be, which makes me think she's just having Shadow Gale make them better, like the face cleanser that was improved and made magical, or the goggles that have now been improved, and just the way she talks to her, it reminds me a lot of the way that Fleur spoke to characters. So I feel like Nanako-san's boss is Fleur. Then, anything else? I guess that's about it. We've kind of got two teams going on here. Toko, the fairy, is assuredly evil in my opinion. I just don't trust the mascot characters in Magical Girl series. Toko is a bad guy. Totally. And she's kind of tricking these other 7 into being fake bad guys, kind of. They're probably not only to protect Toko, but I think they're going to take some of the heat off the real bad guys because this investigation team are going to think the 7 of them are bad guys, and those 7 are the teacher, Nozomi Himeno, Pakame the turtle, then what else were there? There was Captain Grace and her friend. Which one was Captain Grace's friend? Funny Trick. There was Wedden, who is, I think her name was Mine, was her real name, and she was the class president girl. And then there were the 2 other friends, Rainbow and Postery, and Postery is like the shy, clumsy screw-up kind of girl. So cute. So they're the 7 of them are the kind of fake bad guys, and that leaves us with the 5 on the investigation team, which were Mana, who I think Mana is my favorite so far. Hana, I forget the other name, and I just realized that Mana and Hana were their, Mana and whatever Hana are their magical girl names, not their real names, because it's Mana like, or I guess Mana's another pronunciation, either way, but Mana makes me think of like a elongated N sound for some reason, but either way, but Mana is like the term for like magical energy or whatever, so she's the mage girl, and then we've got, the rabbit girl is Hana, and then we have Ripple, Malpam, who is the devil succubus kind of looking character, and Nanako-san, who is the who's the Suzaku girl. And I was saying that because like the heart tails look like a Suzaku tail. So they're the heart tails, and her pigtails are also hearts. She has a bunch of hearts all over, and she was the only character designed with goggles. That's why I'm assuming it's got to be her. But it's kind of weird, because I thought when they were talking about in the van, oh, there's this character with the one using the magical stick. They were like, oh, she's got a black hat and black coat that makes her look like a delinquent or whatever. And I was thinking, oh, those are the like typical Japanese delinquent, like kind of old school 70s delinquent kind of look, the biker gang kind of look from Japan. So that's why I was thinking it was talking about her, but I guess it couldn't have been. And they also mentioned that they had another person on their team who was killed when they were running away. And when they mention all of the girls that they're after, they don't mention Rainbow. So did Rainbow kill someone and not let anybody know about it? That's pretty damn sketchy. Or was she killed by the actual real bad guys? And for some reason they don't know about Rainbow. It's kind of a weird situation that, of course, we're going to figure out more of, unless something was just worded wrong. So yeah, there's stuff to find out and learn later. We're going to learn more, I assume, about whoever it was that was with them that got killed. And that means that must have been before they met up with the people from the other units, I would say. Because that would make sense. If we had Hana, Mana, and somebody else from whatever division they're from, and then whoever was the person from their division got killed, then they met up with Malpam, who's from like the Foreign Affairs Division, Ripple, who is just a student really on her own. She was supposed to be studying with Nanako-san, and Nanako-san's just an instructor from yet another division. But an interesting thing is that they're both called to this city, even though this city isn't the one that either of them are from. So it seems like some of this might have maybe been kind of set up. Some of this is looking more and more sketchy. And other than that, or maybe they were brought there because they're trying to bring Ripple there on purpose, and Nanako-san was just kind of caught in the crossfire of bringing Ripple there, and they brought Ripple there because of Pithy's involvement that we don't know of yet, but she was on the character page. So maybe because of Pithy's involvement, that's why they're bringing in Ripple. So yeah, then that would lead me to assume that the 4 actual bad guys would be Pithy, the rock star punk rock looking girl, the fluffy dandelion poodle looking girl, and the, what was left? Oh yeah, the musketeer that looks like it has like a weasel or a ferret tail or something. So I'm assuming that means those 4 are the actual real bad guys. I don't know if they're working with Toko or not, but they're probably the real assassins, unless somehow Toko is actually innocent and just being framed by those 4. But we'll see how things go. Toko seems to be pretty guilty though. And we're starting here on the beginning of page 27. We just finished 26. And the first line is before she even said anything. So this is where we're starting out. Before she even said anything, Hana Gekukujo was looking at her. Her rabbit ears were covered by a hoodie, seemingly wary of her surroundings. Nanako-san raised her hand as she was able to leave the store and head for the parking lot. She was stopped by Hana and Mana. Hana was at her side. Mana's eyebrows were curled up. Also, Mana is my favorite so far, I think. But it's hard to say that because we don't really know much of anything about any of the characters. Even Nanako-san, I feel like we know more about her than most of the others, but we still don't know that much about her. Mana's eyebrows were curled up. She didn't need to check her goggles to see that she was angry. What took you so long? Where's the other 2? This time, not even Hana stepped in. She looked at Nanako-san suspiciously. Nanako-san raised her hands, opening both her palms. Ripple went over to the... Hold on. Okay, just checking my stuff. Ripple went over to the reception with Malpam. I'd like to say something. There's nothing left to talk about here. Look, I'm not a killer. I can't fight, nor am I a frugal person. The wrinkles between Mana's eyebrows disappeared. Her expression of anger turned into surprise. She opened her mouth slightly, but she stopped. The Human Resources Division would like to cooperate purely for the purpose of investigation. Mana was within breathing distance. Nanako-san began to speak quieter. Okay. My own combat ability is below average. I don't have much of a chance to fight in my line of work. However, I can identify people. I'm not just a training instructor. Nanako-san tapped her goggles. This is my magical skill. Even if a magical girl is in human form, I can see them through my goggles. I'll know that they're a magical girl. Mana grasped the collar of Nanako-san's coat. She didn't have a look of frustration. While her attitude wasn't friendly, she wasn't angry. This was something unknown. You, what do you know? Just how much do you know? You and the investigation team. You asked the other divisions for help and dispatched people like me and Ripple to kill any witnesses. Am I wrong? Okay. Mana held Nanako-san's collar, still silent. Her attitude hasn't changed at all. There's a barrier around the city, right? And what does that have to do with anything? That's to prevent the assassin from escaping. A barrier covering the entirety of B City, preventing entry or escape to anything with magical abilities, even if they de-transform. A magical girl can't pass through, not even mascots can. That's right, there's a quarantine and we're locked in. Like I said, what does that have to do with anything? It seems that Mana was looking at Nanako-san's state. Nanako-san licked her lips. Although she was afraid, Nanako-san continued. When I got the news for the assistance, I noticed that the barrier was already up. That's too fast. You can't just erect a large barrier around a city like this. You need preparation, casting time, and a catalyst. That means you've already prepared it beforehand, right? That means you've already built the barrier before you requested assistance. The Foreign Affairs Division forcibly locked out B City from the outside world. Nanako-san breathed, wiping the sweat off of her forehead. Foreign Affairs built the barrier. We catch the assassin. It's not HR's job. We didn't even know about the barrier. Sending a weapon of mass destruction and locking it up inside a barrier isn't like the Foreign Affairs Division. No, they're perfectly capable of that. Mana took her hands off Nanako-san's collar. Nanako-san staggered. You may be aggressive, but remember that you're in the same hole we're in. The divisions are trying to use this incident as a tool to gain influence over each other. But that's not going to happen, because I won't let it happen. Murder is murder. I don't care what asshole shit-eating lowlife bastard says. The situation is not a toy. One of my subordinates has been killed. Thanks to all of your political infighting bullshit, you're all like spoiled children. Her tone and line of sight seemed like she was cutting past Nanako-san. She wasn't staring at Nanako-san, she was staring at something behind her. Nanako-san breathed in, finally allowing oxygen into her bloodstream. Okay, so I like this. So both the investigation group and Ripple and Nanako-san are both kind of screwed because of Malpalm's Foreign Affairs group. Because the Foreign Affairs group are the ones that erected the barrier and was like, you're all trapped in here now until you figure out the situation. And because of the whole situation, how screwy it got, and how they're being forced to team up with each other, it caused whoever was with Hana and Mana to die, and that's obviously bothering Mana. Okay? I've already done my research on you people, what kind of person you are, and what your motives are. Look at Ripple. She's a child of Clamberry, or so I've discovered. Not to mention she was in the test where Clamberry lost her life. They say she's the most violent one, a survivor of the test. Are you trying to make me laugh? Who would trust her? Ripple is under my charge. That's why I'm here. I'm not here for anything more. Furthermore, even though she's passed Clamberry's test, she's been pushed to her limit. Didn't you see her eye and her arm? She's not as strong as she was before. It's my duty to protect a magical girl who can't fight anymore. Nanako-san took another step, dropping her tone of voice. I know that the Foreign Affairs Division sent Malpalm. Although that's supposed to be a sign of normal support, the Foreign Affairs calls her their magical girl of mass destruction. How much mass destruction is she going to cause to help capture the criminals in the city? There's a high possibility that Foreign Affairs wants to bury the assassin as deep in the ground as possible, keeping all this in the dark. She lowered her head. So I guess that means the real assassin may be someone from the Foreign Affairs Division or has some political connection with them. She lowered her head. If we cooperate, we might be able to arrest the assassin before Malpalm gets to her. Even though Foreign Affairs might not like it, we have the same goals. I want to cooperate, but I won't disturb you, so please make use of our abilities. Nanako-san stopped lowering her head. Hana and Mana were speaking softly to each other. Nanako-san couldn't hear what they were saying, but she could make a guess. Should we let her help us, or is she just trying to threaten us? Nanako-san breathed in deeply. She felt like her heart was going to jump right out of her mouth. She'd been instructed by her boss on every step. She didn't know anything, yet Mana still didn't trust her. However, her facts were right. Nanako-san had followed her boss's instructions while negotiating. Everything she said in her dialogue came from instructions displayed in her goggles. Lower your tone of voice, or go forward about 30 centimeters. Nanako-san followed them all precisely, while her heart kept on racing. Nanako-san didn't even know her goggles had these kinds of functions. Was this because they've been remodeled? She didn't want to think about what else has been modified. Once she's processed what she said, she wondered if it was too surprising. She was slowly getting into the center of the problem. At least she'll live for now. I like that, because it didn't make sense for Nanako-san to be that persuasive and direct with her, but it was all because of, presumably, Flez' direction and prodding. And now we're on page 30, and we're switching over to Ripple's point of view. Ripple. Remaining time, 22 hours and 30 minutes. In order for a magical girl to advance within the land of magic, they had to clear some conditions first. One of those conditions was receive training directly from the magical girl known as Nanako-san. Nanako-san possessed magical goggles that could accurately measure data. Using her goggles, she was able to easily find people who were likely to cause problems. Anyone's secrets could be exposed before Nanako-san's magical skill. Former lovers, old wounds, everything would be laid bare before her. All of that information would be sent to the Land of Magic's Human Resources Division. So it makes me think, how did bad magical girls like Clamberry even get through unless either they were before Nanako-san or there was somebody in the Human Resources Division ignoring the problems that were brought up. So that's interesting. Because you would think, how would any of them get through if they're bad magical girls? Or like Lame Lamey, who Snow White took out. Or even Keek. Keek is kind of because the evil she did, she thought it was for a good reason, so maybe that kind of protected her from being able to be sensed by Nanako-san, and that's the same kind of with Melville. Like, Nanako-san probably could only see she wants to be the strongest and get stronger, she cares a lot about combat, and that's not really enough to think she's going to go around murdering people. So that might be the excuse for those two. And maybe that works for the others as well, but I don't know. Okay. By doing this, it prevents any dissidents from entering the Land of Magic. Ripple has no love for the Land of Magic. If anything, she disliked them. However, she wasn't looking to overthrow their system. She wanted to advance her career within the system. Ripple only had one magical girlfriend. That magical girl was the type to actively pursue what she believed in. She was moving in a positive direction. Also rather easy to gaze from above. That girl's physical ability has grown incredible since last time, but how long will that last? Ripple would like to follow her. For that, she needs a position within the system. That's why Ripple wanted to advance her career. She heard from a friend of a friend on how to get close to the Land of magical girls. Then she began to work under them, helping them, listening to their stories. Sometimes she didn't like the people she went to, but it couldn't be helped with her situation. And after she repeated these, she began to increase her network, getting magical girls who could help her with just one phone call. This kind of method was kind of like Ripple's former partner. She always opened herself up to everyone, so Ripple tried to practice making friends, even with good or bad people. Of course, Ripple had done this to her as well. If someone saw Ripple now, they might think she was exactly like her former partner. Nanako-san received Ripple's application for training. It went through rather smoothly. Even though she had to wait 6 months, she was happy when she heard the rumors. She was pleased that she could jump up in her career. She went to B City where she was designated to go. For some reason, her magical phone instructed her to go to a karaoke place, and when she went to the meeting place, she found out she was now trapped in the city. As usual, the Land of Magic hasn't changed, still using magical girls irresponsibly. Knowing that there's a life-and-death situation, they still sent magical girls without any professional experience. However, for Ripple, this just might be a chance. This was better than just normal training. If they saw how she performed in this accident, they might have a better opinion of her. Ripple was always better at practical work anyways. It was her specialty. More accurately, it was something she specialized in. However, once she heard their explanation, that feeling disappeared. They had to fight in an enclosed space where there's no escape. The situation only made her feel bitterness. She'd rather not kill anyone for her salvation, but her enemies probably won't think the same way. Arresting them will equal their ruin, so if there's an assassin, they'll do their assassination expertise to the best of their abilities. In the karaoke bar, she finally met Nanako-san face to face and looked eternally restless. She always seemed to apologize to Mana, the head of the investigation team, whenever she was reprimanded. According to the rumors, Nanako-san's specialty should be human resources. Ripple saw how hard she struggled to get involved. Ripple should just follow her lead, and by doing so, maybe her evaluation of Ripple might increase. And even now, even Nanako-san was following Ripple. "Pleased to meet you," said Nanako-san, as if Ripple was in a higher status. The other external collaborator besides Ripple, Maupam, was sitting in a sofa opposite her in the receptionist room. Ripple asked her to stop for, and Ripple thought about what to do. She had no idea what she would say to someone that just met her a few minutes ago, but still, Ripple didn't think too hard about it. Something the matter. There's something we have to talk about in private. Perhaps we should stay here a bit. Ah, is that so? Well then, let's wait together until we're summoned. She responded obediently, without even feeling bad about the request. Ripple was relieved that she didn't seem to be a bad person. The two magical girls put on their coats. Maupam used her Panama cap to cover her horns. Like normal human girls, they sat on a couch. This wasn't exactly the normal time of day for two girls to be hanging out, but there wasn't anyone that could be blamed. They would wave off any men that would call out to them. There were also some people that hung around them smoking, making the room smell like cigarettes. Malpom's tone of voice was gentle and leisurely. The mental image that came up in Ripple's head was that of a granny. She didn't actually mean that she was an old woman, but she reminded her of Ripple's own grandmother. She exuded that kind of atmosphere. Ripple's never actually met her grandmother, though, but that's the kind of image she got. Malpom placed her elbow on her knee, supporting her chin with her hand, breathing out a sigh. "I'd like to ask you something." "Sure. Have we met before?" Ripple dug through her memories. She tried to remember the faces of all the magical girls she's met until now. None of them matched Malpom at all. "No, this is the first time." "Is that so? I felt like I've met you somewhere before." Like the granny image she had, Malpom's image now overlapped with the image of old age. Since Ripple thought that was a little rude, she removed that image from her head. The two of them continued to wait further. As she thought, the first person to open her mouth would be Malpom. It was rare for Ripple to have someone to talk to. "By the way, you don't have you don't have to use honorifics to call me." "Huh? We're on the same level. I'm not above you at all." "Well, sometimes we use honorifics even then. For me, with my colleagues, my peers, my subordinates, or my boss, we use the same level." "Well, then I feel the same way too." "Ah, is that so?" "Yeah." This was a weird conversation. Still, it wasn't annoying. That image of her being a granny still hasn't been wiped clean from her mind. Okay. Alright, so now we have Toko. Remaining time 22 hours 30 minutes at the same time. Alright. Apologies, but plans have changed, Nyan. The situation is now completely different. Completely different. Okay, so what happened before, where they were running from that group, since it was before they called them all together, I think it might have been before the barrier was even put up. Possibly. Or it might have been just as the barrier was being put up, but the group chasing them wasn't the one putting the barrier up, it was Malpom, so who knows. Either way. Toko, apologies, but plans have changed, Nyan. The situation now is completely different. Completely different. While standing on top of a fence, Toko was angrily typing on her magical phone. Because of a fairy's body size, they had trouble typing. They punched and kicked at the keyboard before sending the reply while shouting it out. Like I said, the situation has changed. If they struck the investigation team, she heard that they could have escaped with her partner. Okay. They were supposed to be introduced to a magical girl who had a hiding place in a pocket dimension, but according to the text that she got from her collaborator, plans have changed. Okay, so whoever this one that talks with Nyan was the one that was texting her on the phone, and now because of the barrier going up, they probably can't get to her. So she was escaping with a partner then. Okay. She could have escaped with her partner. There's supposed to be pocket dimension. Plans have changed. Not only did the Foreign Affairs Division establish a barrier, they also sent Malpom. Her image is being crushed by the Foreign Affairs Division. Her escape route has been blocked. Not even Toko's partner can escape. Toko hit the reply button with a frustrated front kick. The typing sound signified that the text was sent. Soon she got a reply. The shape of the barrier is the same, whether from above, below, surrounding the city. It covers everything, Nyan. That's why you can neither escape from the sky nor from underground, Nyan. Even if you touch it a little bit, then you'll lose all your energy, Nyan. Even with the magical girl's durability, it's too dangerous to touch, Nyan. I can't recommend you messing with the barrier, Nyan. Toko struck her elbow on the screen. Why the hell is she constantly using Nyan Nyan at the end of her sentences? The thought of that nearly boiled Toko's head. Toko gritted her teeth. There was still more to the text. That doesn't mean I've given up just yet, Nyan. The two of you are still worth the trouble, Nyan. Toko gritted her teeth. The more frustrated she got. By following her instructions, Toko was able to get rid of anyone troublesome. Toko and her partner were also deep under her employment. If Toko and her partner were caught, it spelled trouble for this girl. Since they were more trouble than they're worth, this girl stayed anonymous. Somehow, I'd like you to keep running until the barrier disappears, Nyan. The barrier goes down in 24 hours, Nyan. Until then, you should keep running, and I'll provide support from here, Nyan. Good luck, Nyan. Toko suppressed the impulse to smash her magical phone until it shattered into little pieces. If she lost her cool, she'd easily be caught. If she does, she'll lose her resources, her life, and anything else she had. Until now, Toko's always seemed to be a positive person. She should use these idiots, but also, she shouldn't be the idiot that's being used. But she also shouldn't be the idiot that's being used. Toko turned off her magical phone and took a deep breath. She thought about her priorities. First, herself and her partner. The survival of her and her partner was her greatest priority. After that, how's she going to use her 24 hours? Is she just going to run around? Is she going to kill all her enemies? I actually really like this character of Toko. Even if she's like a bad guy or whatever, I find it hilarious. She's angrily punch-typing the phone. So cute. Whichever she chose also depends on Toko's partner. Toko's partner was a strong one. Even if it's just an investigation team, she can handle them. The problem is the support that the investigation team got. Sure that the Foreign Affairs Division plans to kill them with their full power. Well, looks like they held some kind of grudge if they're willing to kill them for it. Her partner was strong, but not invincible. If Foreign Affairs sent their ultimate magical girl, it's possible for her to lose if she didn't prepare. That'd be troubling. Her partner had a future ahead of her. She can't die here. Should they run away? That would make them feel too weak. While exploring... And also, there's a chance that maybe they aren't necessarily the bad guys. Maybe there's just good and bad in every situation. Like, maybe the investigation team, they're good, but they're being sent by the Foreign Affairs who are bad, and maybe the people escaping are actually sort of like just criminals in some way. But either way, we don't know much about Toko yet. While exploring the enemy's hand, the middle school girls were standing up. If it didn't seem like she could win, she'll escape. Okay. Didn't seem like she could win, she'll escape. But if she used the middle school girls as a meat shield, she could buy enough time for them to escape. Their original plan was to instantly make them into magical girls for that anyway. Since they took into account their deaths, no one should complain. They'll become the cornerstone of Toko's partner. They should increase their strength, forming the magical girl corps, asserting their dominance over the enemy. Not many people possessed magical potential. While watching over her partner's student life, Toko continued to gather up as many people with magical potential. Now she held all the cards. She had to do it this way. What if Rainbow was her partner? Because we know they didn't have Rainbow on the list. One of the people who ran away died, but Rainbow said, nah, neither one of us caught the one we were after. And Toko said that she was watching over her partner's student life. What if the student life of Rainbow is what she was watching, and that's how she was able to find and gather all those characters together? That, or possibly, but I doubt it because Rainbow was the one that wasn't named and that ran away. I was going to say it could be like the probably not the teacher, but maybe Mine? No, it couldn't be Mine, because what I was thinking is that maybe whoever had the ability to draw in those particular students that had magical skills, maybe it was them. But then again, I don't think it would be the teacher, because the first thing we saw of her, she was like, oh, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to get up together with these kids? And at the same time, the Mine Wedden was like, oh, I want to be a magical girl because I want to be a hero or whatever. So I doubt it's them. It could be Rainbow, though. I don't really have any evidence that it's not her. So maybe the other four aren't the bad guys or the partner. Who knows what part the other four will play right now. Since they took into account their deaths, no one should complain. They'll become the cornerstone of Toko's partner. Okay, read that next one. Okay, she had to do it this way. Downstairs, she heard the fun-talking voices of the middle school girls. Within them, her partner's voice was also mixed in. Okay. Even though they were in a rush, her partner's performance was perfect. Toko had compromised by pretending to be a cutesy fairy, far different from who she really was. As expected, she couldn't let her eyes off her partner. She was still growing. Toko's ideal magical girl. Cunning, self-sufficient, excellent, always dominant at the last moment. Although she was still growing, she was progressing well. She would finally sit on the victor's throne. If she's with her partner, they can escape anywhere. Toko put on a smile. So I wonder why... Whether it's... Oh, that's the end. Wow. Okay. So I wonder... I'm assuming Rainbow is the partner. I wonder why Toko is raising her as an ideal magical girl. Because they said before that Toko raised a lot of bad magical girls in the attempt to find an ideal one or something like that. So if that's Rainbow's, what's the plan? What's this whole sit on the victor's throne? Is there some way that she can take over the land of magic? Because I feel like because Toko just said, you know, they're not invincible. They can be taken down by the strongest of the Foreign Affairs Division. So if that's the case, then how is she supposed to fight back against the land of magic and take over the victor's throne? So there's a lot more to learn, a lot of mysteries here, and yeah, I guess that's it. There's not too much to talk about here. I guess I'll discuss more of what's going on at the beginning before I get into chapter 3 on Tuesday. So yeah, that's it. Next one will be on Tuesday. Kind of bummed I have to wait till Tuesday to read again. Or I don't necessarily have to wait that long. I can record before then, but not going to post the next one till Tuesday. So, yeah. I guess that's about it. I'm just itching to learn more, really. I still think Mana might be one of my favorite characters. I think Toko's adorable. Just rage punching the phone to type. Great. So cute. I like Ripple's place in this. Yeah, there's not much more to say that I didn't say at the beginning, because I discussed it for quite a bit at the beginning. So I guess that's it. Thank you once again for watching. Like if you did like the video. Nothing I can think of, but we can talk in the comments, of course. Yeah, like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts and reactions. Please, no spoilers. Subscribe for more Magical Girl Raising Project, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there, or talk to you there. If you want a link to our Discord server, you can talk to me or more of us there. And I guess that's it. So, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.